Hey, what's up? I just wanted to go through the project file for the last video I put out and show you guys how I kind of got this look. And yeah, we'll just kind of break it down. It's the raw footage. I got my clean plate here in the beginning for a lot of stuff. Skating in, stopping, I rotate, I pause, I walk up, start making a bunch of mouth movements. Twist my face. I'm gonna keep this part right here, hand up and down like that. I think I actually cut it so it goes from here and then it actually cuts to this second hand movement like that, down, and then I do all the mouth movements there, wiggle a bit, and that's the end of the video right there. So what I did was, we can go through here and let's turn off all the effects right here. This should just be the footage, and I just speed ramped this to be faster. Zipping on in, and then on this frame I split it, and I have a frozen in place version of me here. So I took just two frames, these two frames, and just looped them a bunch and in their own comp, and I rotated myself out actually pretty poorly. Pretty poor roto, but it doesn't really matter because it's just going to be blended in with this. And then what I did was I took my clean plate, put it underneath, and I think I have a mask here. It's actually no mask. So it's just sitting on top of this clean plate footage for, you know, this. And so that's what's good about this clean plate and why you should get it is the noise on me is going to jump back and forth the exact same, but the noise of the video is going to be changing, you know, every frame. So it adds a little bit of extra, I don't know, texture to the video later down the line. I shot this on the, what is it? The Sony, it's an HDV, it's a camcorder. It's the, what is it? Z5U, HVR C5U. And you can't really find this camera out anymore. What's really cool about this camera is that it shoots onto tape, but it can also shoot onto a CF card, which I have plenty of because I have my Canon as well. Anyway, so I got that done, and then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna extend this out for a certain amount of time, and then I cut back to the clip playing out, but I gave this a speed ramp. I also might have added I still have unsharp mask and everything on as well. I have a basic correction to push some of these values here. I really wanted to get more of this artifacting present later down the line. All right, so we're continuing up here. Another freeze frame. So this is another comp. This mouth comp actually contains two layers in here. So it's got my standing roto, which is the two frames. So in this comp, I rotoed this layer here, and it's just two frames of me standing still. Well, what's really cool is I get this like little eyebrow twitch, and these little twitches are good for keeping your, even though like the image is still, it has like that weird, you know, like Ed and Eddie popping and texture to it, and I needed some of that. So this mouth comp is all the times I was moving my mouth around, I would just take a frame of like just funny little positions my mouth was in. Sometimes what I would do is I would have, and I don't know why this is extended twice. I guess I had freeze frame on, but like right here, I have these two frames which are actually like just right next to each other, but it will help like sell into the next movement kind of. Unfortunately, this one is like too short and it loops like pretty fast. But what you have to do from here is, if I go actually back to the first one right here, this was the first one. So in this first one here, I had to, what I did was I actually before I pre-composed all of these layers. So before all these were pre-composed, they were in this one, and the mouths were like off like a little bit because I had moved like a tiny bit after I like started talking. So a good way to like line these up is to set your blending mode to difference, and you can see like the difference between the two layers. And I just kind of line it up by the nose. So getting these close to like black here will pretty much line those up. And I just took like a feather mask. I just used like a really simple, yeah, you can see here I just used like a math, but I also made sure to get over the nose because a lot of like mouth creasing and stuff and the nose warping I kind of wanted from the speech. So I did that, feathered it out a little bit, and then just blended it back into here. If I turn this back to normal. And I didn't care about so much of this like weird blending on the sides because what was going to happen later down the line anyway is I was going to have a pixelated look, you know, lower resolution. So we're going to get to that though. So I just kind of played out an animation of this looping a little. Okay, just a couple times looping. And then I cut ahead, bink, right here, into this actual clip where I'm moving. I think this is sped up. Sometimes I'll use a posterized time. Will make footage look like it's moving at a slower frame rate, but I think this one I just sped it up a little. And then it cuts there, just 2 frames, same trick. Again, using the background plate here. Without this here, just be this. So I'm actually using a looping or just a segment of footage where nothing's happening. Arm raises up. I just cut ahead. Arm raising up. This is all part of this comp now, which I did not name, but it's all basically the same thing from there. And this little tiny movement here is like something I'm always trying to look for. Just a little bit of movement, but not too much. You don't want the frames to be too wild. To start off with the footage, I wanted to have a lot of noise, artifacting, all that sort of stuff. So I started with like an unsharp mask, which, you know, helped kind of crispen up a little bit of the areas, add some contrast, sort of localized contrast, and then sharpen, which is actually, I could have crunched it up a lot, but I felt like it was overall too much on the picture here. If I like really pushed it like this, I have to experiment. I should have probably put the posterize before. I've been experimenting with where to put posterize because essentially it's like limiting your color palette. I can set this down to like 8 now, like 8-bit. This is like 8-bit sort of, I guess, you know, limited colors here. And you can adjust that with like a levels right here. I think you can do it ahead. Let me see if I adjust this. No, so that's not adjusting it. But if I put this before, it'll actually adjust the sort of the fall off of some of these colors here. You can push it in different channels, you know, for whatever you want. And then the mosaic effect, just mosaic, but the if you're doing 4:3, I would recommend actually doing 320 by 240. And that's what I wanted to do. But I thought it might have even been a bit too blocky here and not clean enough. I don't know why. Maybe if I unclick sharp colors. See, sharp colors on or off, it's up to you, I'd say. I feel like this has like an anti-aliasing off versus like this being more averaged colors throughout the mosaic, which kind of looks like more of a blur, which I didn't really want that. That looks pretty good too. But yeah, so because of the mosaic, it like really hides a lot of the masking and stuff, so it's pretty good. And I like how the nose and this like upper part of my face sort of flexes with my speech, but the rest of my head is chilling. So in my last comp here, I do have an additional effect. I took everything from the first comp that we did already, pre-comped it, duplicated it, set it to overlay, and added emboss and colorama. And emboss is like some secret sauce shit. it has like, what does it look like? That's what it looks like. And then I just overlaid that onto the footage. Can I see what it looks like? Come on. It's very subtle, but it adds some weirdness. And then the colorama just on top. Yeah, RGB output cycle. And I thought that added a really cool aesthetic to it, I guess you could say. I really like this frame a lot. I love this like power line in the back. This is just outside in the parking lot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, have fun. I'm working. I might make this into a thing. I might do a like skate series, kind of like this. You're the new kid in town. You got to fight off all the rival gangs. We'll see. All right, later.